Hello?
No, this was supposed to be the best one ever.
That is the
one.
one.
I told him this was going to be the best podcast intro ever, and that's what we get.
And what did I do?
Hello?
I immediately began greeting people in the common tongue that they're accustomed to.
I don't think it was the best start we could have, but that's fine. We're already into it.
Awfully judgy today.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I'm tired today.
Aren't we all?
We're just all a little tired.
Aren't we all?
Just a tiny bit.
So in the podcast today, I get you an auction update. We talk about what's happening at Target.
Yeah.
What's going on with Parks and Rec. The show. Celebrities playing Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
Streaming Netflix stuff this weekend. What's coming to Xbox Game Pass. Wi-Fi. Oh, I put this down as Wi-Fi is about to get worse. It's about to get better.
It could possibly get better. It'll take a little bit of money, but the potential is there.
It's about to get better. Okay. And then we talk about your quarantine weaknesses.
Yeah.
They're real.
So we really talk about a lot of what do we want to do this weekend and why are we still having trouble?
Yeah. And
what's
then
the weakness going to be?
There's some Taco Bell in there.
There is. Actually, that's kind of a cool thing they're doing for truck drivers at the Taco Bell headquarters. So we'll give you the details.
Yeah. So I think that pretty much covers it.
If you want to say hey over the weekend, send us something you want us to cover during the show next week. All you have to do is text us, 877-2-RadioU. Send us a link there, your name, and that you're a podcast listener. You can also message it to us at RadioU Riot on our Facebook page.
All right.
Enjoy the wonderful weekend.
Have a great weekend.
Bye.
The worst of the worst. Are you ready? The Riot Podcast. RadioU.
Eric is Nikki's husband and my friend, and sometimes we're not good for each other.
You do enable each other.
A little bit.
Normally, when you have a friend who also is interested in computer stuff or gaming stuff, you don't have anybody to tell you no.
I appreciate the thing I really like about Eric. I mean, aside from him being a person, is that Eric's always looking into new stuff, and I have a tendency not to do that. And so when Eric shows me something new, it's like, oh, cool.
That is neat.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Well,
It's
he's
awesome.
been buying stuff from this auction site that we have in our area.
Yeah.
I don't know if every city has it. I assume so, but I'm not sure.
I don't know.
It's basically this massive operation where you've got buyers who take these giant loads of like stuff from Home Depot or stuff from Amazon or all these return items, and they're not necessarily damaged, but they're just, you know,
The store
never
doesn't
sold.
want them sitting around.
Pretty much. So someone comes in, buys them, they rent this space at this auction site, and then you can buy it from them for a lower price. Might be
Right.
damaged, but normally it's perfectly fine.
Well, I was all set to buy this really awesome gaming chair.
It's like a racing wheelchair.
Yeah, and I definitely didn't win.
Oh, you didn't?
Last night, the auction closed at 10,
Yeah.
and then last night at about 9:58, I got outbid, but I was asleep by, oh, dude.
Was it close?
I only got outbid by $10.
Oh, no. Oh, that would have been amazing. Oh, you need to stay up next time. You have to be there for the end.
That hurts.
Yeah, that does.
I would have easily given, in the heat of the moment, I would have given $10 more for that. Sure. Oh, that hurts.
Well, I'm sure they'll get more eventually one day. It'll be there. They'll get more.
That's too bad.
Could someone else purchase one of these racing chairs and then return it? Just see what happens.
Their retail is $500.
Yeah.
And I bid $100. And it sold for $110.
Oh, that is a good deal.
I would have done. I would have
you
done
would have
it.
done that.
I would have. Yeah.
I'm wondering how it is to go there though, because normally, like I said, it's this massive auction place where a lot of people go. A lot of construction guys go and get these large loads of things. Mm-hmm. Well, it is open with the stay-at-home stuff, but I know they have like new rules, so I wonder how you have to wait to get in.
I don't know. But boy.
Well, shake it off. You'll get something else.
Man, I wish I didn't even have the email.
You wish you didn't even know.
You know, the funny thing about it is that I put my bid in and completely forgot about it.
You did? No, you have to set a reminder.
I got the email.
And you need to be there at the end.
Yeah.
That way you know if it's close enough. What's the word when you used to do like eBay auctions?
Sniping.
They snipe in at the end.
Yeah, they would call it eBay sniping. And it was you're a fool if you bid anytime before like 5 minutes before the auction ends.
That's when all the stuff happens.
You got to get in right at the end.
Oh, I'd hoped you got it. I thought about that yesterday.
It's fine. It's fine. You know what? Since I'm so depressed about it, let's go out and just buy some other things at full retail price.
Now, that is not what we're going to do. As tempting as it is.
That's the answer?
Well, I didn't get it here. I'm going to pay the whole $500.
Man, I couldn't. Like $100 to me is a stretch. $500 for that thing? Come on.
A Rotten Tomatoes score so high, they refuse to make it public. The Riot on RadioU.
This is interesting. Did you know that they're doing a Parks and Rec reunion episode?
But in character.
Right.
Yeah, so everybody will be the same characters.
That's amazing.
It's a great idea.
It is a great idea.
I have seen it everywhere since yesterday.
I didn't.
Everybody's been super excited about it.
All right, well, here's the deal. I've never watched Parks and Rec. Which
Not
is
even
to say,
a part of an episode?
Well, no, that's not true. I watched probably the first 3 episodes of like when Parks and Rec launched. And it was right in the middle of Office fever. And they're like, we got a new Office, but it's in a different place. And it's going to be so good. And I just didn't think it was funny at all. And everybody says that you start at the second season and you'll be
It's real
thrilled.
Funny then.
Yeah. And so
The mark of a good show is when it's not good in the beginning, like the first couple of seasons.
Yeah.
Then it really hits its stride.
The only show that I can think of right off the bat that is 2 shows actually that aren't like that would be Serenity. Mm-hmm. No, Firefly is what it's called. Serenity was the movie. That's a movie. That's a show that you watch and you feel like you've walked into a fully developed show. The same is true of Arrested Development. If you sit down and watch Arrested Development, that show starts right away.
Right away?
It also
doesn't end right. It actually moved the bad seasons towards the end.
It did.
It's the reverse.
The first 3 are good. After that, I haven't even tried 4. I tried 4. I didn't like it. I didn't even watch 5.
So this is interesting. A lot of the, what's the word? Like get-togethers, like if you go on Zoom, there's just tons of, here's this movie from years ago and the cast is reunited.
Right.
There's been a ton of those during the stay-at-home stuff to just kind of get people happy. But for this one, it's going to be on April 30th. So it'll be next Thursday on NBC.
So they're doing it to raise money for Feeding America's COVID-19 Response Fund.
And they want you to know this is all scripted. So it is what it is. It is going to be a scripted version of it.
Right. So
it's not like they're just going to be on hanging out and just talking with people.
Right. I would expect it to be scripted.
Well, if it was like a Zoom or
right.
Then it would just be come hear from the cast members.
Right. Well, you know what? That's a great point. This is going to be an actual. These are the characters, not the actors and
It's like when you watch, if you've watched the SNL Stay at Home, something like that.
Yes.
They're doing another one of those.
This weekend, yeah.
Yeah, kind of similar to that.
You're going to watch the SNL Stay at Home this weekend?
The first one was so bad. It wasn't even funny.
See, I heard a lot of people liked it.
I think you just say that to be supportive.
No, I didn't like it.
Because you want to encourage?
I want to encourage you as you're trying.
So you keep at least getting something.
In these difficult times, I wouldn't dare speak out against how bad you are.
Well, it's hard. Sometimes humor, at least for SNL and for some of these shows, you have to have your team of writers and you have to have this sort of setup to get something really funny out of it. And I bet you it's not going to be 100% the same because no one's in the same building.
It has been tough at the Riot. Like our writers have not been able to write for us.
They can't come in.
Yeah, we have just been forced to use our own ingenuity. And as you've been able to see, not much there.
No, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
So that's on next Thursday. I think it's going to include, who did they say would be in there? Amy Poehler, Chris Pratt, Rashida Jones, Nick Offerman, and Adam Scott, among others. So
that's, it's not everybody, but
Amy Poehler should be there. Yeah. So, at least that's who they're saying now.
It's their main, their main squeezes.
Main offering.
All right. Next Thursday night. I've never said to watch NBC, and I'm not saying so now.
It's just going to be there.
I'm just telling you it's available at.
You thought they were bad live? Well, just wait until you hear this. The Worst of the Riot podcast with Obadiah and Nikki.
It's a walkout.
It's which place? Target's having one, isn't it?
Target, at least, this is not officially from Target, but supposedly the employees and staff of Target will all be calling in sick, or at least a good portion of them, next Friday.
Do they give a heads up in hopes that corporate would try to deal with them?
I don't know.
Or they just don't want people coming to the store that day, or what?
So the idea is that it's also going to be happening at, there are a bunch of Amazon workers that are going to not show up. And there are 50 different Target locations where people have signed up to be a part of saying, hey, I'm going to call in sick that day.
So they're calling in sick to raise awareness for...
They say unsafe working conditions.
Gotcha.
They say that Target's expectations for them working and how they're working are unsafe. They also say that customers do not care. They're like, yeah, the people coming to Target, nobody's social distancing. They're coughing all over us.
It's not an essential store, like going to go get essential items.
Yeah. So they're just like, you guys need to get your act together.
I wonder if out of all the places that are open currently, I wonder if you could say the same thing for all of them. Like, are all their employees kind of feeling that way?
I don't know. And I will tell you that, I mean, I'm sure you've seen and other people have experienced as well. Your reaction to and how you feel about social distancing, et cetera, is like very personal. It's like music choice and politics and like all of this stuff. If you ask somebody, some people are just like, I don't care. Come here. I'll lick you. And
others are like taking the tape measure out and they want to make sure you're far enough away.
It's like the lady we saw yesterday that pepper sprayed somebody for stepping on the elevator with her. Like there was not 6 feet in that elevator and you come on the elevator, you're obviously trying to kill me. So pepper spray. I don't know. I don't know exactly. I haven't gone through like what's their list of things they want Target to do. But they're trying to make a dent and say, hey, we've got to make some kind of change in the way this works.
I haven't been in a Target since before the stay-at-home and all this has gone on, but I drove past one the other day, and it was completely packed.
Well, you know why? They're one of the only places that are still open.
So people are still going.
People are going there just for funsies.
Just to, have something to do.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is exactly what they were wanting you to do.
It's not. I mean, admittedly, I kind of get it. Because I thought the other day, like, gosh, I would just like to go to a store. I don't even want anything. But just to walk somewhere other than the park.
If not, just drive around. You don't need to go in anywhere. Just drive around.
Yeah, there you go. Just drive around the parking lot. Feel good.
That's all you get. Pretend to get out, but don't really stay back in your car.
Here's what you do. You go over to the Target parking lot. You get your phone out. You look at Target.com.
You bring your bags just in case, so it looks like you have that feeling of going in and shopping, and just turn around, put them back in your car, and go home.
Perfect.
Saved money.
Perfect.
Didn't actually buy anything, but you felt like you did.
Stay right here for more solutions. Practical solutions to real-world problems.
We could have this all fixed so then they don't have to do the sick day call-in thing next Friday.
Yeah.
Wow. Not only are you already awake, but you're listening to The Riot? Your day is off to a pretty rough start. The Riot on RadioU.
Is this real?
What?
That Elijah Wood visited
the Animal Crossing? Yes, it is.
Man, everybody's bored. And I have seen so many people on Twitter, at least, playing Animal Crossing.
It's been a therapy of sorts for some people.
Like, everybody's playing Animal Crossing, which, hey, cool. Like,
a lot of people I heard from, you have your day stuff, like maybe you get some work at home or you have your class stuff at home, but a lot of people get really kind of restless at nighttime.
Yeah.
And so Animal Crossing has been a big boost as something to do to keep you occupied and you feel like you're interacting with stuff and people. And that's why I think the Switch, we've been talking about, the Switch has had such an increase in people trying to buy it, and that's one of the main reasons.
Yeah, and Animal Crossing, if you've never played it, it's a game that takes place in real time. So if it's 6 o'clock where you live, it is 6 o'clock in Animal Crossing. And it has all of this stuff that you can do. Like, you can keep playing, but then there's a lot of things where it's like you can do it once a day, and that's it. And so,
or you can play throughout the day.
Well,
which
but
is what a lot of people are doing. Yes,
like
it works
there are things
both
where
ways.
it's like, hey, I'm going to harvest this or like whatever that, and you kind of go, and it gives you some things to do every day. I don't know. I've seen a lot of people that are they've been into it.
This lady, her name is Jessa. She had tweeted about a price for turnips. And apparently
that's the hotness right there, the turnips.
Exactly. And so then apparently Elijah Wood said, hey, I don't know if she got a DM from him or something, but came over and that was it. She tweeted about it.
So, hey, look, Elijah Wood came to visit me while we're in quarantine.
Mm-hmm. It was cute. It was fun.
Yeah. Hey, man.
That is very polite in the game.
So, may I pick some fruit?
Uh-huh.
That's very nice.
So if you open up, your island to strangers, there's been lots of fun stories about people coming over.
Yeah. Well, what about you, Nikki?
I was watching someone.
Do you have an Animal Crossing yet?
I played Animal Crossing on the iPhone release from a few years ago.
Oh, this is not that.
It's totally different. I know. So I feel like I'm supposed to. I watched someone else who was playing it yesterday, and it looked, like I actually was drawn to it. I thought maybe I should do this.
I honestly think, all of my troll-like tendencies aside,
of course,
I think you would love it.
Yeah, I
really
think
do.
I need it.
I feel like you would get into it because it has a lot of the hooks of similar to what the Simpsons thing that you like so much.
Yeah.
But instead of it being a time suck and a money suck, you just pay one time and you can just do whatever you want.
I was thinking too, I have some free time this weekend at home.
Yeah.
So I might as well.
You know what? I actually have been thinking, I see a text here from, let me grab your name. Ryan says that he's been playing Fallout 76, roaming around for just that feeling.
To feel like you're going out and doing something. Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking this weekend, I've had a couple of games that I've been playing that I'm just not into any of them. And I was thinking about trying to pick up something new or look into something new that would be fun. And something I've noticed is
an open world. Yeah,
exactly. I'm way more open to just exploring in games. I used to be like, no, I'm through this as fast as I can. And now I'm like, hey, what's over there?
I got plenty of time.
What's that over there?
I think I want to take the Switch, and if I get some nice weather, it'd be nice to go somewhere and
maybe just sit outside and play.
Sit outside, or just have my place. Just sit outside and do something.
So all of those Switch commercials we made fun of are becoming real?
I want to take it outside.
Who's taking the Switch to the park to play? That's stupid.
I think it sounds actually quite nice.
And there you are.
That's what I'll be doing.
In your folding chair at the park with a Switch.
A good distance away from everyone. Maybe I'll have some food. I'll just bring something in, have a little picnic.
Just a chance to do something nice.
It seems like a great idea. Maybe I'll do that Sunday.
Just a little something.
Oh, look, I have plans now.
Wow, look, your weekend just booked up.
I have weekend plans.
Wow.
So I need to remember to download that today.
Everything you love about the Riot, plus a handy-dandy fast-forward option. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
That's Nikki. I'm Obadiah. And we are talking off air and on air just about the idea of, gosh, wouldn't you like to get out and go somewhere? A few people have been texting and saying, hey, I've been getting my Wander on in video games. So they've been playing. Yeah,
it seems to be where you find a game, you get in there, and you just see what's in the world.
I will tell you, I have been doing that. I also got an opportunity, and I'm back into virtual reality a little bit. That has been fun. VR, to me, feels like going to the movies. It has a weird feeling of kind of other placeness to it. And so that's been kind of fun. I don't think it's as great as actually going somewhere.
Sure.
I just want to be clear. Some people are like, yeah, you get lost in there and think it's real. No, you don't.
It's not like that.
It's not. I'd love
Wearing the big headset still keeps you grounded here on the earth.
I'd love to tell you it's like that, but it's not.
Does it take a little of the edge off?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I have, there's a couple of games that I like to play in there, and it's been fun. So there's that. But the other thing Nikki and I were talking about is it stinks that there's such a high, if you do go somewhere, you mentioned going to the post office.
Yeah, I had to grab something yesterday.
And it feels like a high stakes maneuver when you go into the post office.
Yeah, because I had to, you walk in and I can't be too close to the person to where I didn't want the guy to hold the door for me because I didn't want him to feel like he needed to.
Sure.
So I had to hang back a little bit and just make sure that he didn't see me coming.
Right.
So it's just a weird maneuvering of getting in, and I didn't want to walk in and then make this lady feel uncomfortable as she was walking out.
Sure.
So it's a dance, and you can't just go in anymore.
What I have noticed is that, because of working here, and I live 30 minutes from the studio, I feel like different areas are reacting very differently. I went into a grocery store that's a mile from the studio.
Yeah.
It was like walking into, everyone had a mask, gloves, They were distancing. Like, they were taking it all very, very seriously. I went to the grocery store by my house, and people are just like, I don't care, whatever.
There is a difference.
And I actually feel like it may have it's almost like an economic strata. Like, if you're somewhere where people have, they got some money, they're like, I want to live. And if it's not as much, they're like, I don't even care, whatever.
I think it's also maybe an age thing because I went
That's
through,
true because there's a retirement community over there.
It could be, but I went through the drive-thru to grab something, and the lady taking the money was a lot older.
Yeah.
But, man, she didn't care. She just was like, take the money, didn't have gloves or a mask on, and I thought you kind of had to. And then the next person at the food window had, like, everything on, had the full outfit on.
All of it?
Yeah, like had a mask with, like, a shield on, the mask.
Yeah.
And almost had... it felt like, when you go into surgery and the doctor puts the scrub sort of thing on, it felt like that was what we were dealing with.
Wow.
I was like, wow, the two differences. I'm like, you guys are both touching money and talking to people. Like, so it just depends. People handle it differently.
Yeah. I have found myself wondering, I should probably, get a mask, I guess.
No, we get one coming.
Right. But, okay, I can't wear that and do the show.
No, you don't wear it during the show, but you're supposed to wear it in the office.
Back and forth?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't even work in the office anymore.
So you're fine.
Yeah,
but as you walk in or out,
I just sit down here.
You just take it home with you. It's just, you get a mask. Basically, in radio or for most essential businesses, depending on the state, as things open up, they are providing masks for different places.
Yeah, well, I definitely wanted to, a friend of mine is making them, and I was like, well, I do end up having to be in public a lot. I should get a mask. And I was going to ask her, and I found out she has orders for 400 masks.
Yeah, but can't you just sneak
try to get into the front of the line?
Is it a virtual line, or what are we doing?
I just felt bad about asking her. I was like, you just...
Did you make one more?
How about 401 orders?
I know, would that be wrong?
How do you feel about that?
You should get something.
All right. I do like the idea of getting a robber mask and just doing that. Just take a bandana, wrap it around my face.
Most places, bandanas are out, too.
Yeah. Oh, well, you know what I have at home? I've got a balaclava.
You can wear that.
You think that would count?
It can. You're supposed to stick, you could put, a coffee filter in one, or you're supposed to put something in it. Okay. It's just an idea.
Listen, my head's so fat, there's no room in there for something else. I'm not going to be able to get a filter in there.
Yes, you are. It's just a little one.
I'll tape it to the outside. There I am in a robber mask with a coffee filter taped to it.
On the wrong way. No, don't do that.
Maybe the Riot would sound better if they spent less time improving their lives at their gym. That was sarcasm. It's the Riot on Radio U.
Look, let's be honest. Nobody's answering their phone. You don't do it. You don't answer your phone. You're like, I'll answer it someday.
But you feel pressure. I still feel nervous every time my phone rings.
Yeah, why are you calling?
Exactly. Why are you calling me? What's going to happen if I don't answer it? What's going on?
I feel bad because, for example, my mom. My mom doesn't really like to text. She'd much rather call and talk to me. But I never get her calls. I always have to call back because I almost never have my ringer on. So... there's no, you call, I'm not getting it. And it's not even personal. It's just that I didn't even know you called.
There was just no need.
Yeah, because I don't want my phone bothering me. But, I can remember back in the day hearing the phone ring all the time. And you just answered the phone. That was the thing. I don't know. But now I'm not taking that call. See, and you think about how you feel about when your phone rings. Mm-hmm. All right, that feeling. Now imagine that your phone rings about 400 million times a day.
What are they doing?
There is a woman named Doriana Fontanella, and her phone number is one digit off from the state's Department of Labor and Unemployment fax number.
Oh, no.
So people are calling the unemployment line.
Yeah, they have to fax something in.
They get it wrong.
How do you do that?
They call her. No, let me tell you what. If you deal with government anything,
you have to still fax stuff in?
You can't attach a PDF. You can't send them a scan. They want you to fax it.
Some of that I think is security measures. I don't know why it is, but Whatever. It must be.
So then you have to find a way to virtually fax.
Oh, that must be miserable for her. Is she just going to change her number or something?
I hope so. She says that she's had this problem since back in 2008.
Yeah.
But she's never changed it, which I don't at some point, it's time to make the change.
Well, nothing's worse than you realize it's not real. Like I think we're a couple off one of our numbers from something that's a correctional thing.
Oh, it's a Arkansas, like, 800 number.
It's something like that to where you can always tell because you answer and they're like, yeah. They usually have some sort
They've got
of
an accent.
Arkansasian accent or something.
Yep.
And they're like,
it's
what?
a thing.
And you're like, this is a radio station. Like, sorry. And usually it's a ma'am. They're very polite still.
I don't get the man part.
But they don't believe you at first.
No,
like,
they totally
got the
don't.
wrong number.
They think that you're screwing with them, and it's like, all right, here we go again.
And they're like, I'm so sorry. You're like, it's okay. But man, to have so many calls, that lady must just be really mad.
I'm not mad at you. Okay.
You just made a mistake. It's okay.
It's fine. It's fine. Don't you worry.
So what can you do? Or do they say anything for her?
She refuses to change her number, which I don't understand.
And they're not changing their number.
Yeah. I do understand the idea of, you get to a point where your number is kind of a personal thing. It's the way people get in touch with you. You don't want to get rid of it. I'm that way. I've had the same cell phone number for a while, and I don't want to change it.
But wouldn't it be nice to start clean and fresh? A new number?
I mean, in fairness, it's not like people are reaching out to me from whenever, wherever, trying to get in touch. I mean,
and they still have your number for that. It'd be nice to start off with a new number.
I just don't want the hassle. You got to tell everybody, like, hey, everybody, I got a new number.
You don't. You only have to if you really want them to have your number. You don't have to tell everybody, though.
You'd have to tell me.
Well, yeah.
Okay, so, all right. So I got to tell everybody?
No, you just tell the people that you want to have your new number.
I got to tell the RadioU people. Then I got to tell my family people. Then I got to tell my friend people. And you know what? It's a hassle.
Okay, so you don't want to do it.
I'm lazy. The last time I canceled my home phone, however many years ago, because somebody... Like when I moved, that number was attached to my old address. The people that moved into my old place apparently never paid a bill. And so all they did was call me all the time.
Oh, to ask for money, like collections?
Yeah, and I'm like, this is not me. And they're like, okay, we won't call you back. Click. Hey, it's us again. Did you pay us?
Like I told you it wasn't me. Right. That's when you really do need to change your number.
It's real, Nikki.
It was bad enough the first time around, but now it's worse. Don't believe us? Just keep listening. You'll find out soon enough. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Here's what I imagine could one day happen. I'm dead. I'm in heaven. God and I are talking, and he just looks at me and says, now, son, no judgment. I'm not mad at you, but I want to show you how many hours of your time on earth that you just spent looking at movies that were on sale.
Do you think he'll bring that up?
And I just want to show it.
He's a kind man, though. He's not going to do that.
I just want to show it to you, just so you know.
I think that's on your way up. Like it'll flash.
It'll just be a flash.
But I don't think when you're up there, then you'll be like, do you remember all the times you used to?
Do you remember that?
Yeah, but it makes you happy.
It's weird.
You like to.
I do. You know what? Isn't that funny, the ideas that we have about God? We think that God is in heaven and there's like a ticker or a board that's running, and we're like, all right, we got all the mistakes over here, and we got those captured, and man, forget about 4K. It's like 400K, like 8 million frames a second.
There's no questioning it's you.
Yeah, we got you.
We see it all.
Right? We're keeping score and all of that kind of stuff, so you're busted. A lot of times we think about that. Do you know that God's not actually doing that? You will find that what God really wants to do, what he has done is like he's almost had he just wants to love you. Jesus wants to have a relationship with you. Jesus actually, you know what? He paid the price and did what he had to do to make sure that there was nothing that could keep you from God's love, except for you, really. I mean, it's your choice. Like, you can enter a loving relationship with God or not. That's up to you. But man, I'll tell you what, you say yes to God, and there's not another moment of your life where you're going to be without him. He forgives. He loves you. He wants to be a part of what you've got going on. He will even sit with you while you look at these stupid movie prices. Who's going to buy Everest for $17?
But
for $17!
But at least you see it's there.
Right. But I'm just telling you that God loves you. And he will show us a better way to live. And God's been good to me. And sometimes he might suggest that maybe $17 for Everest. You could do something better with your time, son.
You already know that in your spirit.
In my heart. I know it. I know it, God. I know. But look, let God be your friend. Please. like God has made such a huge difference in my life. Jesus has changed my life for the better. And I'm not saying that life is always rosy, but you'll never face it alone. He'll always be with you, and you'll always have the help you need to do what you got to do. God doesn't want to beat up on you. He wants to befriend you. Just say, Jesus, I want that. I want you in my life. I want you to fill me with your spirit. I want you to show me how to do things. And I want to know you for who you really are. It's a great place to start, man, for reals.
We would give the Riot flowers to show our appreciation, but Obadiah's probably allergic. What isn't he allergic to? This is the Riot on RadioU.
So here's what I'm looking at, Nikki. We've got the Force Network Fund. It was founded by Cam Atkinson of the Columbus Blue Jackets. And what they do is they raise money that then is given to other organizations that benefit first responders.
Sure.
So they've given money to Fallen 15, Operation Military Kids, Save a Warrior, USO, and a few other things. So there's that. They are doing a virtual 5K as a fundraiser.
That has started to be
It's
a new
turning
thing
into a
this
thing,
year.
huh?
Yeah, it is.
So the idea is you would sign up and register for this 5K. And in this case, what is it? $35 or something. And then you do that by a certain date. And then there is a weekend where you run your virtual 5K.
You have a window.
You just kind of report back like, I did it.
Well, you're supposed to put your time in.
Right.
So as long as you don't want to fib, you put your correct time
Fib
in.
for the bib. That's my new 5K.
Fib
the
for
fib
the
for the
bib.
bib 5K. You in?
So it's become a new thing for a lot of the races that were supposed to be during stay-at-home times.
Right.
For some places they just don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like that idea of like, hey, we're going to have a 5K. We're going to raise money. To me, and we have a 5K at RadioU, and I know a lot of people that run them. It in some ways kind of shows you what the 5Ks were actually about. As a runner, a lot of times I'm just like, yeah, whatever, I'll run your 5K. Here's $30. But for a lot of people that are setting up those events, they really are fundraisers. Like they really are trying to raise money for an organization. So to you, it might just be another race, but to them, they're trying to do something in their community.
Yeah, it's hard though with the community aspect. It's a lot of fun, but you're taking away that personal community aspect of it.
Sure.
But at least you're still getting support and people are able to help raise money for, what you signed up for.
I had a few years there where I was running 5Ks like crazy, and it was very fun because you'd see the same people. Like you see a lot of the same people while you were out there running, and it was fun.
I don't think a virtual marathon works as well. I think the larger or longer the distance is, but a 5K and then maybe a few more would be perfect for it.
I'm going to just go in the TV studio and just run laps in there. It's a pretty big room.
Well, just make sure you take your time, keep your time. So then that way you turn it in,
right.
And then that's how you run your race.
Yeah, how many laps would that be? 150,000?
In our back area?
Yeah.
I don't want to know.
I actually don't.
You're going to have to be the one to find that out, but you might as well just go outside and run a trail and not do it in there.
You're right, of course.
Yeah!
You were one of the lucky few who missed the Riot when they were live. Yet here you are.
I also like to live dangerously.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
So I am thinking about there are these bagels in the freezer that Nikki's mom got for us. I was thinking about having one, and I feel like I probably should. And the reason is that I'm reading an article right now that says that Americans only eat about 59% of the food they buy.
Oh, and we should be using ours up.
The rest of it gets thrown away. So the idea that maybe we're contributing to that by not eating a bagel.
It's in the freezer. You should have it.
Boy, I hate the idea of being wasteful, don't you?
I like to plan, like sometime on the weekend. I plan what I want to have during the week, and then I'll schedule an order, like a pickup or something for the groceries.
Yeah.
And then I like to just not follow through the whole week. Eat out something fun or have something brought in and then have food waste. So,
that's okay.
I think that's how it goes.
At some point, wouldn't it be better to just be honest with yourself and say, you know what, I'm going to take this money that I pretend is for groceries and I'm just going to spend it on Uber Eats.
It could be better if you just were a little bit more honest.
Just get real.
Even thought, well, maybe I need to schedule a couple of times each week instead of just saying, no, I'm not going to. schedule a couple so then you don't feel so bad and a little bit more.
So that you're planning ahead, like Thursday night, I'm definitely getting Uber.
Exactly. Like you're planning what you know you're going to do anyways.
All right. Well, they say that in the fact that as Americans, we're only eating 59% of our food, that means that we are spending more on our food we don't eat than we are on what we put in our gas. Well, what we put in our gas tank every year, or our heating bills, or our property taxes. That's how much money that we're wasting when it comes to food waste.
I ate all the ice cream. I'm not wasting that. Thank you.
Good job, Nikki.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
come
you.
on.
And I'll tell you, I don't think it's the bagels that won't be uneaten. So
I don't think so.
I think it's usually all the other healthier stuff.
I'm trying to think, do I waste food? And by waste food, do you think, and I haven't dug into it super far, like, would that be that I cooked this food, but then I didn't eat all the food I cooked?
It's not even that you cook it. It just goes bad.
Yeah.
Or say you have like a freezer full of food and you still go eat something else, or you have leftovers, you don't even eat them up.
I try to eat leftovers. Like if we make something, I have food left over. Like, all right, just eat it.
Then we don't want to.
Just depends on what it is.
It depends on the day and the mood.
Some leftovers are better than the actual meal.
Yeah, some are better the next day.
Some are not. Just depends.
So I just got to be...
I like to dress up these leftovers with a burger and fries that you sit next to them.
Just be realistic and know what you're buying and try to use as much of it as you actually can.
Yeah.
Don't be wasteful.
I'm hungry. We should have a bagel.
You mean using up the food that we own?
I should, instead of going out later to get food, I should eat the food that Nikki's mom bought for us, which is, say, eating a bagel.
Grab a bagel.
In case you're wondering, yes, we do get complaints.
They have gone too far. This time, they are going to be held accountable.
You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
I have a weakness for buying movies and video games. You guys know this. It is well documented in this show's history.
It's built in. It's the fiber of the show.
Yeah. But what you guys have got to know is that despite the fact that I front that a lot, I typically will say no to myself a lot.
Sure.
The problem is that I just have to say no to myself a lot.
Are you saying it could be worse?
It could be. One of the games that I never said yes to was Red Dead Redemption 2. And I remember that came out and everybody was like, it is the game that's going to end all games because it has everything you need in it. You
when
just
did it
keep doing
out?
it over and over again. Was it like a year and a half ago?
Was that the horse game?
Yep.
Yeah, there it is.
Didn't Eric got
He
it, didn't
bought
he?
it because he got a
He
PlayStation.
bought a Red Dead 2 Redemption 2 PlayStation.
I don't know if it's like, I don't think it was skinned in any way like that, but he bought the game when he bought it for that reason.
Yeah, it was like that's because it wasn't on PC.
No, he wanted that.
And he wanted to play it. Did he play it a lot?
Wasn't it? Yeah, it was the horse game where you just walked around. I'm sure you did things, but I don't recall what happened.
To you, when you looked at it, it was just that. There's a horse and you walk around.
And then every so often you'd see something, you're like, what is that?
That's it, yeah.
That's about it.
That sounds like that was it. I had a friend of mine tell me, I was like, yeah, I might wait till it goes on sale. And he's like, it'll never go on sale. They don't ever do that. They don't discount their games. I'm like, you mean the company that right now has this game discounted? And he's like, yeah, it'll never discount.
Well, it was a really popular game, so a lot of times they don't discount that until they have to.
Well, I've never played it. And quite frankly, when people talk about it, I kind of don't want to. They're like, you got to go over there and chop the wood. Then you carry the wood over. And then you get some hay.
Real life.
Yeah, when they started talking about it, I'm like, guys, I am playing to escape real life, not so you can recreate the hardships of High Plains living of the mid-19th century.
Now you got plenty of time, though, and you might like it.
So it's coming to Xbox Game Pass May 7th, I think it is.
Oh, so it's on other consoles? Besides PlayStation
it's on
now?
PlayStation, Xbox. It is now on PC as well, though I actually have not seen a sale hit with that game on the PC.
Well, you should try it at least. I mean, with your allergies, you're never going to do the real horse thing.
That's true.
You've got to stay inside and do the game version of it.
So my Game Pass subscription doesn't run out until December.
Yeah.
So it's not, let's be clear, it's not free, but it's going to be kind of free-ish to me.
You're going to try it?
Sure. Why not?
When does it start?
May 7th.
May 7th.
So, hey, man, like when you
get your ducks in order. Get everything else done until then.
In 2 weeks from now, it's going to be huge. Like, I can't wait. Now I'm living a dull, terrible life in the meantime, but...
Oh, my gosh.
What?
You have something you can put in your planner now. you have something you can write down.
Get your planner out.
Get it out and get something in there. Do you still even carry your planner?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you could put this in there.
Do you know what's funny is I actually have gone back to using it.
You could say May 7th, you could do the Game Pass.
Life has picked up enough for me to start using it again, kind of. So let's see, Nikki. Do I have anything on the plans for this weekend? Keep flipping. Well, I used it for Monday and Tuesday this week.
There, the rest is open, isn't it?
The rest of it is
pretty open.
Is blank.
But you could pencil this in so you don't forget. You could play it on Game Pass.
Oh, and look, I have something already on May 7th in the evening. Wow. This is the only thing I have in the whole month of May.
Whole month of May is the day it comes out on the Game Pass.
Yeah, but
that's how it is.
The only day I have anything going on is the day this releases.
The month in the planner has nothing else except for that day. Well, you can at least play it starting then.
Cinco de Mayo's on here.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? We can't go out for Mexican.
We're not doing that.
Oh, my gosh. It's all falling apart.
That is what a lot of people miss the most is they going for chips and salsa and stuff and the unlimited chips.
Can't get it. Even if you get Mexican to
give
go,
you a bag.
You get a bag, and you know what a bag has? It has a bottom.
It has a limit.
And you know what I'm there for? Bottomless.
And I realized I always ate more than the first offering of chips.
So much more. So much more.
All right, well, that's just a little catch up with you can now play that then.
Worst of the Riot. RadioU.
So we're looking for things that are new streaming this weekend that we could watch.
I want something to schedule for this weekend. Tell me what I should be watching.
Well, I think probably the two quote-unquote big ones, which is all about perspective, is going to be Extraction. That's got Chris Hemsworth, Thor, play in a movie that is essentially Man on Fire.
Oh, really?
So he is, as I understand
the Denzel Washington one?
Yeah. That's
a good movie. Maybe we don't need this one. Maybe we should go back and watch that one.
John Creasy. Why do I remember the name? I don't know.
Because it was such a good movie. It was so good.
You're right.
It was amazing.
What was that? Tony Scott, I think?
Or Ridley Scott?
No, pretty sure it was Tony. It might have been his last movie before he died. Because he did... Why? See, guys, do you see what a waste of my life I'm making? He made the one...
Tony Scott.
Yeah, Tony Scott. And he made a movie right before that was way too stylized. And then this was where he backed it off a little bit. And it played super well. Anyway, Extraction, that's coming to Netflix. Then you've got
I haven't seen anything on that.
Really?
Yeah, nothing.
See, that's you and me living different internet lives because everything I look at is and Chris Hemsworth in Extraction.
They didn't even push the Mark Wahlberg one from a month or so ago from Netflix.
Spencer for Hire
and
or
that
whatever.
had a huge, 85 million or something. But I haven't even seen any on that or this one.
All right, Nikki, there's also the Willoughbys.
Oh, I saw that. I guess they're pushing that to me. Well, I think that was the number 1 out of 10. You know how they show the top 10?
Yeah.
That was number 1.
What, did that hit yesterday?
Yesterday,
It must have then, yeah. So that is a kids show about 4 kids ditched by their terrible parents and forced to figure out what's going on their own. So
perfect.
There's that. The other thing that I'm looking forward to checking out this weekend is the Ghost in the Shell anime. That's on Netflix. I say I'm going to watch it. I probably won't.
You will. You can.
Maybe. We'll see. Whatever. This list I did not generate. I heard the episode of the Clone Wars last night. They say was maybe the best one ever. It wasn't trending on my personal Twitter this morning. It was trending on all of Twitter.
Ooh.
Which is a little different.
Paid for. Know what? Could have been paid for.
Hey. I believe that. I don't have any problem believing that, just so we're clear.
No, I don't think they're paying for that right now.
Maybe.
That might have been organic.
Also, hey, wouldn't you love... Come on. Wouldn't you absolutely love to just have a family sing-along right now? Get your roommates together or your parents or whoever you're living with and have a family sing-along. Well, Disney Plus introduces the Disney Family Sing-Along.
Oh, we've been waiting for that.
This weekend.
Oh, how nice. I bet it is nice. Well, maybe.
No.
Well,
No, I'm being
we're all really-
sarcastic. I don't want to have a family sing-along.
Your family could be your friends. Think of it like karaoke, but inside.
I don't want to have a friend sing-along. And I'll tell you right now, karaoke, you remove alcohol from that equation, and it makes no sense.
And it's all like Disney songs, isn't it?
No,
you know it is.
No, Nikki, it's not. The Disney Plus, Disney Family
like karaoke.
It's not Disney songs.
I mean, it's all going to be like Let It Go, like that.
It's My Humps for the 400th time. That's what it is.
Oh.
Why did I pick that song? Because the last party I DJ'd, I got
someone was asking.
They wouldn't leave me alone about it.
Well, that's a show too. Is there anything else? Anything else we can watch this weekend?
Well, I don't know. Do you have anything? That's all I got on my list. I mean, they're saying what we do in the shadows. I'm looking at somebody else's list. Mm-hmm. They made that list. That's going to be on Hulu this weekend. What's the other list I'm looking at here? Because there's so many services. Apparently from last weekend, a movie called Sergio hit Netflix that was supposed to be good. Mrs. America on Hulu. That happened last week. That's about the Equal Rights Amendment from the 70s. Mm-hmm. And these people are also excited that all of the James Bond movies are back on Amazon Instant Video.
Well, I guess Chris Hemsworth it is, so we'll watch that. I think after you telling me all those options, it's that or the Disney sing-along show.
Well, this one article I looked at said the pile of content is infinite. That's true. I mean, we're just talking about what's new. We could go back to an article that's like, hey, what's new this weekend from a year ago? And I bet you haven't watched any of that either.
There's a lot of choices.
The Riot RadioU.
We've got great news. While you're sitting at home and all that matters is the internet. Might be able to make the internet faster. Something happened yesterday. Not a lot of people talking about it, but the FCC has agreed to allow some of the, okay, it's getting nerdy, but just listen.
Just follow along.
They've allowed some of the 6 gigahertz frequency band for internet routers. So right now, if you check your router, they don't even really advertise it like this anymore. But back in the day, they were like, ooh, it's a 5 gigahertz router. And what that did was the 5 gigahertz stuff is usually a little less crowded and there's more bandwidth there. So it would be faster, right? Well, now we're going to go, like, what's better than 5?
6.
6.
Sixes.
If the number's higher, it must be better.
It must be better.
And so that's where they are right now. They're saying, hey, we're going to open up this part of the spectrum. Now, your router that you have now, it's not doing that. You have to buy a new one.
Are you sure? You have to buy a new one?
Yeah, right
How much
now.
is that going to be?
Probably a lot.
Oh.
Well, they haven't had a chance to charge you for a router in a long time because they made the mistake of building routers that seem to last, and so you're just stuck with your same old router.
Well, do you think that they'll be opening up? That makes me feel like they could close it again, but if they're going to be making routers for it, it probably wouldn't.
I don't think so. Like, it looks like they're going to allow all the way up to 6.2 gigahertz that you'll be able to do. So I assume, I don't know, but I assume that you'll probably need all new equipment for this.
Well, you can't do it with what you have.
I mean, all
and
new
what'll
equipment.
be great is you're going to buy all the new equipment and it just won't, for some reason, work for you. So everybody needs to be aware of that going into it.
Intel is currently working on new routers as well as Apple, and they say that this is the most significant contribution to Wi-Fi in 20 years.
Good, because I think our Wi-Fi, I mean, it pales in comparison to some other countries' Wi-Fi stuff.
Julia says this is happening because of the T-Mobile and Sprint merger.
Oh, really?
Is that true?
Maybe.
I mean, I could see where that would be a thing because each carrier has a certain amount of the spectrum that is theirs. And so if they are merging and only going to one of those, that maybe that's it. Or maybe she's just screwing with us. I don't know that either.
I don't think Julia feels like, I think we could trust her.
You don't know?
I think we could trust her.
I mean, we just went on the air with a completely unconfirmed source.
You're right. Well, you're like, Julia in Pittsburgh, she knows this stuff.
Nikki and I should work for news organizations.
It'd be perfect.
We have all the qualifications.
All right, so if you're upset that your Wi-Fi is so slow and you're like, what else can you do?
You know what, though, is your Wi-Fi slow?
It gets that way sometimes at certain points of the day.
But
I
is
think it's not the Wi-Fi,
It's not the Wi-Fi. That right there. Exactly
that's
right
the
there.
issue.
You're like, man, my Wi-Fi is busted. No, it's not. There's not a darn thing wrong with your Wi-Fi. It's the internet that you have plugged into your Wi-Fi that is the problem.
It's exactly it.
I mean, it is possible that you could have a crappy busted router, but I'll bet you don't. in most cases, you got a crappy busted internet provider.
You know what? My router and everything's like, thank you, Obi, for speaking up on how it really is.
And I'll tell you something else too. If you get just a little bit of just a little head knowledge, like watch a YouTube video, you could go out right now. I spent $80 or $90 on a Ubiquiti Unify LP, which is or was it LD? It's like their long distance wireless access point thing, right? We use them in the building.
The little hockey puck things?
Yep. I bought one of those. Can I just tell you, I can get my internet down the street. That's how freaking...
You're pulling in and you got your internet.
I mean, that's how strong those things are. So, I mean, for very little, you could snag yourself some really great Wi-Fi. But you know what? Things are going to get real now, though, with that 6.2 gigahertz stuff. Julia says she works in the industry. We can count on her.
Or is she lying about that?
She lying about that.
You might be thinking that this won't be quite as bad the second time around. Well, you'd be greatly mistaken. You're listening to the worst of the Riot podcast.
You're going to do a DoorDash, Uber Eats, whatever. You might as well go ahead and use that opportunity to support some local business, right?
Absolutely. You want to order local to help out those who maybe don't have a big company behind them.
That's exactly what Kendall was thinking. Kendall, last Saturday night, was like, hey, we live in Oaks, Pennsylvania. We're going to order in. Why don't we try to find a local place that we can order into?
And even usually on the delivery apps, it shows you a setup of local ones. So It's all promoted.
Okay. So they went to Pasquale's Pizza and Wings. They found it on Grubhub. And they were like, yeah, that's fantastic. So they went ahead. They ordered themselves. Let's see. What did they get? They got some wings. They got a pizza. And they had it delivered. And that's when they realized that what they actually had here was not a Pasquale's pizza. It was a Chuck E. Cheese pizza.
Oh, Pasquale's is like the pizza within the Chuck E. Cheese? Oh, my gosh.
So Pasquale, I guess, is one of the characters they have at Chuck E. Cheese.
That's hilarious.
And they went ahead and got for themselves a...
well, it's local. It is there. I don't know too many who like the pizza at Chuck E. Cheese. But
you know what they said? They're like,
it's pretty good.
It's all right.
There was no reviews at the time of the restaurant, so they thought it was just like a small business, so they wanted to support it to help it weather the pandemic, but it wasn't. It's Chuck E. Cheese Pizza.
Hilarious. Hey, you know what? Chuck E. Cheese Pizza needs your help, too, okay?
They're a place.
They're not selling so many pitchers of beer and tokens right now.
Pasquale is the pizza-making character in Chuck E. Cheese world.
Right. Which it's weird to me that once you say that, I can actually picture him.
You can see that?
I know what Pasquale looks like.
So she posted a text exchange with the delivery driver who confirmed that he picked up the Pasquale's order, and that was Chuck E. Cheese.
Okay, some of her conversation with the Grubhub guy. He said it smelled good. It is good, but it's totally Chuck E. Cheese pizza. My husband said that the chef character at Chuck E. Cheese is named Pasquale, so I think they just made up the secondary restaurant. But
they just put a name to it.
Yeah, which, I mean, I don't know. Hey, look, there's a picture of Pasquale.
It is what it is. Food is food.
It is what it is. Well, now, Nikki.
Pizza is pizza. It's not... It's fine.
I'm not saying it's not fine.
How much was it? What was the price? As long as they weren't overcharging, it's fine.
Did you see that tweet I sent you last week?
Yes, because that's my life. It's some little Muppet puppet character.
Oh, it's a little boy.
Oh, it is? Oh, I thought it was a puppet.
Oh, my gosh, you think he's fake.
And I didn't look at it that hard.
It's a little boy crying and eating a cheeseburger. And the tweet was, this is me eating my $7 cheeseburger that I paid $50 to have delivered.
Listen, if you order and deliver food, you know it's more money. And sometimes you're okay with it. You're just fine with it.
And by sometimes, Nikki means every other day.
Anytime. I've even started doing DoorDash for lunch sometimes. And I don't know why.
You need to
stop it. I know.
You need to stop.
I don't want to.
For lunch? just go out and get your freaking lunch.
Don't
At
want
least
to.
for dinner, you can be like, oh, I've worked all day. I couldn't possibly get out there.
See, I changed my thinking with it. I said I shouldn't be doing dinner because that tends to be more expensive, and I can have lesser expensive lunch.
Oh, my gosh.
And it's busy days, so...
Because obviously I'm going to do Grubhub. So I just have to find a way to make it a little less expensive.
I have even found that DoorDash tends to feel like it's more money than Uber Eats and Grubhub and stuff, but I still stick with DoorDash, and I don't know why.
You need to, I'll tell you what.
What?
What I'm going to start is I want to be your DoorDash driver. You just
yell at me?
You just pay me whatever the heck you're paying these guys.
Will you please go get food?
And I'll just do it for you.
This is the weakness that I have found during this pandemic. This is what it is.
Ooh, that's a good question. You know what? If you found a weakness during this pandemic, you should text us. Nikki, is this DoorDash and ice cream?
And I don't want to work out, and I stay up too late at night.
Stop taking their answers.
Oh, is that everybody else?
Everybody text in what has been the thing that you feel like during the stay-at-home stuff that you've really gotten suckered into that up until this moment
you had some control over.
You were strong.
And not anymore.
But it's falling apart.
I gave during the last fundraiser, and all I got was this crappy morning show. This is The Riot on listener-supported Radio U.
To quote Nikki in her very insightful commentary on the song, I want to hate you, but you're not my enemy, could be about your Grubhub habit.
It could be about anything that we've realized we have a weakness in during these last several weeks of our at-home stay. Mm-hmm. And that's it. Delivery food is one of them.
So we wanted to know, what is that thing that you, up until now, you'd have been like,
Sure.
But now you're like, well,
I can't help myself. Stacy texted, said ice cream, and actually called it isolation. I thought that's perfect.
Oh, she says Pokemon Let's Go on the Switch. Mm-hmm. All right. Ice cream. Nikki, you're on that, right?
I have lessened on my ice cream. It's like an every other day thing. It's not an everyday thing.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, it's been there. Oh. It has been there for sure.
Man, Consuelo's in the same boat you are. Nikki, look at this. My go-to thing during the pandemic has been lots of hoarders and property brothers.
Nice. While ordering from Uber Eats and Postmates.
Nikki, are you texting in as Stacy and Consuelo?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm not.
Because they sound like you.
They do, don't they?
Yeah.
Or maybe there's more of me than you realize.
Oh, my gosh.
Maybe a lot of people are like me.
You're telling me...
we thought they were like you.
You think there are a bunch of Nikki clones out there listening
clones,
right now?
But we all like the same things here.
Wow. To think that there's a bunch of people just like Nikki out there. Wow. I don't feel like I don't think I've stumbled into anything yet. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I have gained weight, so I must just be eating more of whatever I'm eating.
Well, you're also just not working out the same.
No, I'm telling you what, man, you have removed the gym from my existence. And studies conducted in 2020 show.
By Obadiah with his one subject survey.
That's not good. Because it's one of those things that I hate working out. I don't hate it, but I'm not a huge fan of it. But if I can just get myself to go to the gym once I get there, I'll absolutely do it. But the idea, I'm at home, there's my Xbox, my TV, there's the ice cream, I can call Uber Eats. And you want me to work out in that same place?
We can't do it.
Listen,
this is why we're tired at night, because there's not enough time in the whole day for all that.
Okay. Yeah.
We can't add working out to it.
I did have a conversation with one of my roommates where they're like, yeah, I didn't do that. I didn't have time. And I was like, wait.
How is there not time?
It's like, I don't have a problem with you not doing this. Go ahead. But you need to be honest with yourself right now. You chose not to do this. You have plenty of time.
You remember, though, with working out, I'm afraid, and going to the gym, because for a while there, we did pretty well. We were doing pretty good going out.
It.
But you remember when we stopped eating bread for those 6 months, and we did fantastic, and then we just fell in the bread hole?
So are you saying that we're going to fall back into the gym like you wouldn't believe?
No, I think it's to where enough time, we just got out of it, and it's so hard to get back into something because you know that there's freedom from it. So you know how great it is to not go.
No,
I'm
Nikki,
just afraid we can't get back into going to the gym.
We're going to make it. We can do this.
Whatever they decide to open
By the time this thing is over next year, they'll be wheeling me into the gym and dropping
We're going to be broke.
They'll just be like, well, he can't walk under his own power. We've got him on this wedge.
Oh, it's fine. This is where the anxiety's coming from. Do you feel
so?
It's anxious.
You know what I do when I get really anxious?
Eat. This is what
I eat some ice cream.
Eat some ice cream. It settles my stomach. Makes me feel better. I need to settle my stomach from like the McDonald's.
My
But
stomach. I need an ice cream chaser for these fries because I got a lot of indigestion.
If you missed out on the next Riot moment when it originally aired, you don't know how lucky you are. You're listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
We're just drinking coffee and hanging out and
just having a fun morning.
Just being thankful that we're not eating Taco Bell right now.
I actually really like this idea. The stay at home or the closure of restaurants except through drive-thrus. I never thought of this in the beginning. I've seen it brought up quite a few times though since then. But if you're a truck driver and you need to eat while you're delivering, and you could be doing an essential delivery, like you need to get through, you can't go through a drive-thru with your truck and you can't walk up to the restaurant.
Right.
So you can't get your food.
You can't get your Taco Bell because
you can't go through the drive-thru.
Taco Bell drive-thrus are surrounded by large concrete structures because they know once you enter the drive-thru, you're going to be there for so long
they won't
that
let
if
you
you
out.
had half a brain, you would just pull out.
Well,
they can't allow that.
They also won't let you walk through the drive-thru. So I know some people will go and pick up a truck driver's meal for them and then give it to them, so they'll have to take their car through. But I like this idea. Taco Bell headquarters, 1 Glen Bell Way. It's in Irvine.
It is.
They are today, and as far as I know, today only, going to be offering
today and next Friday.
Oh, next Friday
so
too?
So like this Friday today and next
May
Friday
1st.
from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m.
So that is going to be it's going to be a special for essential truck drivers. It's the Taco Bell truck through. So you can go through. They're only going to give you one meal. It's put together for this particular thing.
Right.
So you go through the truck driver through at their headquarters. You get a on-the-go meal, which is a Crunch Wrap Supreme, bean burrito, cinnamon twist, and a Baja Blast.
Yeah, and they say it's free if you're a frontline person. So who does that include? They say truckers, firefighters, EMTs, police, media news vans.
And more things like that.
And so they say all of those are vehicles that wouldn't fit in a regular Taco Bell drive-thru. They're going to take care of you.
So if
and by take care of you, I mean that they're going to create a large gap in the first responders next weekend because they're all at home on their Taco Bell cleanse.
You can, if you drive a large essential service vehicle, then you can participate in this today and next Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. in Irvine, Southern California.
All right.
I thought it was a great idea. Great use of space.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful for them. But again, it's bad enough that you're out there risking your life in these difficult times. And now Taco Bell wants to poison you for free.
No. And it's better than just the one free taco. That's a good deal there.
Well, you're getting a Crunch Wrap Supreme.
You're getting everything.
It's not just a Crunch Wrap.
Thanks for listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Oh, no! I missed it! Do it again!
You can hear us live every day on the RadioU network through the RadioU app or at riot.radiou.com.
That's my new 5K.
Fib
the
for
Fib
the
for the Bib 5K.